Welcome to another episode of Wildlife Photo Chat.
Video edition.
Video edition.
Emily came in second. I like that. Oh, yeah. That soft second video edition.
Feeling
nice.
soft today.
We are glowing orange off of this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let you introduce the photo.
This is my photo, and it was taken, I believe, on New Year's Day.
Oh, yeah?
Like 2022, maybe? Am I right?
Take a look.
No.
12:30.
12:30. So, day before New Year's.
21. Yeah. Okay, so coming right up on 22.
Right
Gotcha.
right around the corner from New Year's.
Yeah.
2020.
So, this is 3 years old?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
I didn't think it was that long ago. Cool.
Yes. So I was actually shooting. So this was taken in Hilton Head, and Ray, let's hear your thoughts about it.
Okay. Was there any more backstory on the photo, or? I think she's ready to hear my thoughts on this.
I was shooting with Mary and Karen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was visiting Hilton Head, and she invited me out to shoot, and I was not feeling like I wanted to go shoot, because I'm going to get all sad.
Gotcha.
It was just a few months after my dad had passed.
Oh, okay.
So I was struggling, and but I'm so glad I went to go shoot. So
yeah, it looks like an amazing. This is morning sunrise.
It was also like high tide, and I was like, oh, there's not going to be a lot of birds because it's high tide, and I always thought that there would be more birds in low tide.
Yeah.
And so anyway, she encouraged me, and I came, and clearly there was a few birds out.
Yeah, just a few. All right, so I'll give my thoughts on this. Give you a moment here.
Thank you.
I mean, the shot is stunning. It's very graphically like bold. The colors are incredible. The sunrise is incredible. It's a beautiful sunrise just without any birds. But then just sort of the chaos of all these birds, the placement of them, the fact that there's not any major bird right in there. I mean, I know this one a little bit, that one a little bit intersecting, but for the most part, none of them intersecting. And then you pointed out right before we hit record here, there's a person walking over here. And I think, given enough time to sit here and look at it, I probably would have noticed that. Whether it was the cause or not, it kind of tells the story of what happens so often on these beaches, specifically this one, but many of the beaches I've been on, where you're there, you take all this time to get close to these birds, and then just some random person comes walking by and just flushes everything, So it kind of tells that story of how often these birds are sort of disturbed from their rest from people walking around. I mean, especially at this beach, we see it happen constantly,
Right.
I also have seen a lot of these birds get flushed from other birds, or just, like an eagle flies over, or any number of reasons. Or sometimes you just can't even figure out, you're like, there's nobody around. I didn't move. I've been laying here for 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden they all just take off and then come right back and land again.
Right.
So I know they do that on their own, but for sure, people kind of flush them a lot. Other than that, everything's, what's really cool too is like how well it fills out the frame.
Right.
Like it really just fills it. There's no big open gaps anywhere. A little bit of a gap there, a little bit of a gap there, but nothing obnoxious that like throws off the balance of it all.
Yeah.
And then the colors on that are just, that gradient is so beautiful. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. I think it was such a beautiful sunrise, and sometimes, during these sunrises that happen, it's like you want to capture just one bird with the sunrise and like have that simpleness to like a bird and the sun or whatever.
Yeah.
But then when there was so much going on, I figured I might as well take some shots of just like you said, the chaos.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
How did you settle in on 200 millimeter on this? You're on a 70 to 200 millimeter, so it's interesting to me. I don't know if you remember this 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's
so,
3 years ago.
I don't know if you have any recollection of, like, what do you think, kind of, why not go wide? Because I'm sure there's more birds out to the sides and stuff like that.
Maybe it was the size of the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go wider, it gets much smaller.
Yeah.
Real fast.
So it could have been that.
I could see that.
Yeah. But I remember I was playing with the 72 a lot at that time, just taking that out. and using that at that time.
Yeah, just
so.
trying to get some wider stuff and just a lighter setup.
Yeah, I don't know about lighter. It was like between, because I would usually take the 200 to 500 out to the
Gotcha.
beach. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was just enjoying the 70 to 200
Yeah.
more. So, I mean, it's definitely like a busy, there's not like a clear subject. It's more like,
Oh, I think there's two clear subjects to me. Yeah.
well, to me, it's like more about the sunrise, and
I
then
think the
there's
sunrise
like,
is almost a subject there.
yeah, and then it's just like there's a ton of birds there, and that's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
that's kind of what it's about.
Yeah, that's a good story. It's an obvious one. There's two. I mean, I don't even know if could say the sun is the subject. It's the in focus thing,
Right.
you know. But
Right.
the birds kind of dominate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
but it's, yeah.
they sort of. I can go back and forth easily on my eye getting stuck right here, enjoying that amazing sun,
Right.
just over the horizon, or just taking in like the shapes of these birds and trying to, as a bird lover, trying to figure out
Identify.
like, yeah, this one almost
definitely a
feels,
skimmer.
he feels like a skimmer right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, I wonder how many more of these are skimmers, but that's obviously a gull,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of gulls
And
mixed
then
in.
some like little
These
smaller
look like
birds.
small, sanderling flock, plovers,
Yeah.
something like that. So it's interesting to kind of have fun and try to mix up.
And then there's randomly like a couple of birds in focus.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yep, a couple of them way back there as well. Then you got the human species over there.
That human species.
Yeah. I also really appreciate the panoramic crop there. Do you know, before we look at the original, do you remember what you cropped off more
There's
of?
more like sand at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know if there's more up top too.
It doesn't really look like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so yeah, lots of sand there.
I definitely obviously brightened up the exposure because I shot it way under.
Well, I mean, you shot it right where it needed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, look how that sun's almost overexposed.
Yeah.
A little bit higher and it's like gone.
Yeah.
And then
So,
not coming back, so it seems like the exposure was right where it needed to be.
Yeah.
In hindsight, anything you would have done differently in shooting it?
I don't know. I think the sun works in the center, so I don't think I'd change that.
The left, right, center.
The center of the the
What
frame.
about the height? Like, since you cropped all of this out, do you think you would try to
I guess, yeah, probably I would include more of the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing, that's the only improvement I could see here
Yeah.
is, like in the original composition, is just, maybe like the bottom of the frame being right there, and then we get to see more of whatever's happening up there.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. But I agree with you. Left, right, center of the sun makes
Yeah.
sense, because I think if it was off center,
It would just feel
I
unbalanced.
I
in
think a
some
little
way.
bit, just because
Yeah.
there's so much symmetry in not symmetry, but filling of the rest
the
of the frame with
birds
the
and
birds.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
it probably
kind of
would. It probably would be okay, but
Yeah.
I think it works really well. Do you?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, did you play with the crop at all, like removing any of like just the darkness, the sand down here at all?
No.
To see what that looks like?
No.
Yeah. I was curious if that might have any like if it cleans it up at all, or if it sort of kind of just leaves it feeling.
Feels like it needs a little space.
I was just gonna say, like, feeling a little tight or kind of unanchored on the bottom.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it could work, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it goes both ways.
Yeah.
But absolutely nothing wrong. It's not like it's too heavy. I agree with your crop on it though. Like getting rid
Right.
of most of it.
Yeah.
I felt like that is probably too much.
Unless I like was keeping the whole thing super dark or something. I don't know. I guess like you
Sure,
could go a different
yeah.
edit with it.
Which I was just gonna say, there's also an
Rather
interesting
than,
version, kind of
like,
not far off of this.
Similar to that.
But
Yeah.
I much prefer where you ended up.
Yeah.
I mean, the colors that showed up
it's much
there.
more like to the scene, like
What you see there.
yeah,
For sure.
You're not seeing like dark,
Yeah.
dark sky when
No.
you're seeing these beautiful pinks and things.
Yeah, and it's just the bummer of what you have to do with these cameras still.
Yeah.
I mean, they have amazing dynamic range. Perfect example here. You brought this up, and like, if we zoom in here, like, this is clean.
Yeah.
There's like the tiniest bit of noise over there, but it's negligible. And that's like the furthest corners of the darkest shadows right there.
Right.
Everything up here is really clean. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
And
And there is a guy walking his dog. Looks like a dog there.
Oh.
You zoom in again.
yeah. Oh, right
There's
here
the
is
dog. Yeah,
the dog,
I think.
probably. Yeah,
Looks
no, I'm
like
sure
a
you're
dog
right.
Figure.
Yep. Yep, for sure. Yeah.
So that could have spooked the birds.
Yeah, they tend to not like the dogs running
Yeah.
around for sure.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's fine. It's no, but it shows like how proper the exposure was there, and you kind of have to be there in order to not overexpose that the sun. You know,
Right.
Like you have to be there is what I mean
Right.
at that exposure.
Right, which
Because-
seems like dark, but
Yeah, because like
it's
if we
not.
don't do anything else, if we just like start like if you shot it like there,
Yeah,
you're probably not getting the top half of that sun to come
Right.
back without those weird ass
yeah.
yellowy funky colors that happen in there.
But you
know?
can see that like pink to blue gradient
Oh,
that's
for sure.
there, and it's just
But
yeah,
also like laying there with your own eyes, laying there, it probably
looks
looks
like that.
like you can see the detail in the
Yeah.
sun, and you can see the detail out
Yeah,
there.
it's
so,
one of those sunrises where you're just like, oh, it's so beautiful. And like, of course, I'm gonna get probably emotional again, but just how nature can be healing, you know,
Sure.
during
Yeah.
difficult times. And
Yeah,
yeah,
just give
there's
you like a
something
nice
to be
distraction.
said for that, right? Yeah, like the sun is kind of the calm amongst the chaos,
Sure.
and like going out to the beach and shooting when I'm in the middle of grief
Yeah.
is also like a healing calm in the chaos kind of
Yeah,
thing.
definitely. And it's really interesting how photos like this can mean so much more to you,
Yeah,
you know, as you took them and as it transports you back to these times, and you know, a tough time, but still probably, you know, just a nice time to remember this moment and that sort of thing anyway. But yeah, it's a stunning image. So
before I start crying
yes,
on the
we'll
video.
wrap it up. But thanks for sharing this one and the moment. I know it's a tough one, but yeah, just a gorgeous shot. So well done.
Thanks.